Erwin Data Intelligence Suite, Getting Started with Mapping Manager. Agenda: Creating and managing mapping specifications. After defining systems and uploading metadata, you can create mapping specifications. Mapping Manager enables you to create mapping specifications in multiple ways. In this section, we will walk you through how to build metadata-driven source-to-target mapping specifications and enterprise standards to manage them. Creating and managing mapping specifications involves adding transformation and lookup details, updating mapping specifications manually, uploading mapping specifications in XML, specifying XPath in mapping specifications, setting column order and column visibility. Getting started with Mapping Manager. Click on the tile bar icon to access DIS modules. Go to Data Catalog. Select Mapping Manager. You can create source-to-target mappings using the Mapping Manager module. Adding transformation and lookup details. Adding transformation details. You can add transformation and lookup details to a mapping specification in the Mapping Specification Grid. Adding transformation details involves setting up business rule and extended business rule transformation. Go to Workspace Mappings pane and click the required map. Right-click the header menu of the Mapping Specification Grid. Double-click the cell under Business Rule for the required source column. To add Extended Business Rule Transformation, go to Workspace Mappings pane, right-click the header menu of the Mapping Specification Grid. Select the pseudocode based on the project ETL. Press Ctrl-Space to select Transformations. If the required transformation is not available in the list, click here to create and update the transformations list. Click on Save. Adding lookup details. Select Lookup Reference Column, Lookup On, and Trans Lookup Condition. Drag the required table from Metadata Catalog and drop it under the Trans Lookup Condition column for the required source column. To add Lookup Reference Column, double-click the cell under the Lookup Reference column and select the required column. To add Lookup On, double-click the cell under Lookup On and select the required column. Click on Save. Adding transformation details graphically. In the Graphical Designer tab, click the mapping link of the required column and expand the Properties side deck. In Properties, expand the Transformation Details tab. Double-click the cell against the business rule and select the required value. In the Graphical Designer tab, click the mapping link of the required column and expand the Properties side deck. In Properties, expand the Transformation Details tab. Double-click the cell against the Extended Business Rule information and select the required value. Click on Save. Select the pseudocode based on the project ETL. Press Ctrl-Space to select Transformations. If the required transformation is not available in the list, click here to create and update the transformations list. Click on Save. In the Graphical Designer tab, click the mapping link of the required column and expand the Properties side deck. In the Properties, expand the Lookup Details tab. Drag the required table from Metadata Catalog and drop it against Trans Lookup Condition. Once Trans Lookup Condition is set, you can add Lookup Reference Column and Lookup On. To add Lookup Reference Column, double-click the cell against Lookup Reference Column and select the required option. To add Lookup On, double-click the cell against Lookup On and select the required option. Click on Save. Updating mapping specifications manually. Manual entry of mapping specification should be used case by case and on exception basis. After creating mapping specifications, you can update mapping specifications manually. Under the Workspace Mappings pane, click the required map. The mapping specification grid appears. Click on Edit Specifications tab. Double-click a required cell to update its value. Select a row. Use Control key to select multiple rows in the mapping specification grid and right-click a required cell. Uploading mapping specifications in XML. You can upload a mapping specification to a project in the XML format. You can either use an existing XML file or export it from a suitable project. Ensure that the XML file follows the correct template. For more information on exporting a mapping specification in XML, refer to the Exporting Mapping Specification into Property XML Format topic. Under the Workspace Mappings pane, right-click the required project. The Upload Legacy page appears. Drag and drop or select the XML file to upload. Click here to upload. The Upload Mapping Manager XML page appears. Update the mail comments and click here to upload. Specifying XPath in mapping specification. XPath is a potential path expression in an XML document. Hence, if you have scanned source or target metadata using XSD database type, then XPath plays an important role in mappings. You can specify XPath in a mapping specification for source and target columns. To specify XPath in mapping specifications, go to Workspace Mappings pane, click Map. Click on Edit Specification. Click on Edit Specifications tab. Right-click the header menu and select Target XPath and Source XPath. The Target XPath and Source XPath columns are visible with the corresponding XPath values in the mapping specification grid. Double-click a cell under Target XPath or Source XPath to enter the required XPath. Click on Save. Setting column order and column visibility. You can change the column order and column visibility in the mapping specification. This helps you work more efficiently and accurately. To set the column order in the mapping specifications, under the Workspace Mappings pane, click a map. Click the required column header, drag and drop the column at the required place. Use Reset button for column ordering and visibility. Click here to set the column visibility in the mapping specifications grid. The header menu page appears. Expand the respective nodes and select the required columns. Close the header menu page. The selected columns are visible in the mapping specifications grid. For more information, please visit erwin.com.